So I've recently been building quite a few walkers, including this big one, which walks kind of like a horse, and this small one, which is kind of like a Boston Dynamics dog. Now, the horse absolutely needs gyros, but this one, it has gyros, but like if I press space to turn them off, it's still walking. It walks a little bit less good, but it's still walking. So I figured, much like my ornithopter video, I would just make a walker tutorial video. Now, the first thing that we're going to get down is a seat. I've been using the operator seat to build some of these because it just seems ideal with the 3 wide. And then I'm going to put some gyros on it. I'm going to put these at like 2-ish strength. That should be good. This is my second time recording this video because the first time OBS didn't pick up my mic, and I don't know why. But it's fine. We're then going to get some steering hinges down. Now I'm going to alternate these from each other so it's not going the same way. So it's going to do that. While I think I'm technically, like, inching along, that's not the main focus of this. So now that we have that, let's add some tubes like this, build out some leg. And then we'll make 2 more of these. So that way we can go like this. Add 2 more tubes. And I'm actually going to swap these around. So it's going like this. The problem with this, though, is that knees don't typically bend backwards for humans, which this is going to be bipedal. So what we're going to do here is when I press D, which is when it was bending this way, we're just going to completely remove that control, meaning that when I press D, it's not going to bend backwards. And same goes for this one. When I press A, it is no longer going to bend backwards. So now we have this, which doesn't quite work. So I'm going to increase the angle of these to like 80, and then increase the speed to 2. And that doesn't quite work because it's just marching in place. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Configure, and then go to the duration, and I'm going to set this duration to around 0.4, so that it's only active for 0.4 seconds. Oh, looks like we need to increase the gyros a little bit. Maybe not. Oh, I just realized all of the weight is on the back there, so I'm gonna move the legs to right there. I'll set these to 2 again. Nah. 2 is not strong enough. But 3 seems too strong, so let's go for 2.5. So that way if I press A, just real quick, I'm gonna delete this. Replace that with 2x1s. I'm gonna go to mechanics and add this. Set this strength to like 3, because that seems to be what this weight can handle, and then unbind the controls, because that's what I'm actively using to walk. Okay, as you can see now, the end of the foot, like, re-extends because it's been that 4-second delay. So we're kind of actually walking right now, alternating between A and D. I am now going to add some friction pads, because why not? And then let's see how this walks. The thing about walkers is you can kind of see how it pushes me back there when I'm moving the front leg forwards. That's not a good thing. So the main thing in walkers is when it's going out like this, we want to make this part rotate so that it doesn't touch the ground when this goes like this, so that it doesn't push us forwards. So that's kind of extreme angles because I'm working on a 90-degree build grid. That's why these angles are set to like 80. So then we can kind of go like that. Okay. Now I'm going to add a bit of an ankle and a foot. So this is just going to be the basic foot. Duplicate this over here, and then we're going to grab some pipe pieces, or I guess they're tubes, but I call them pipes. Put them over here, and then we'll duplicate these and put them down here. And then as you can see here, that doesn't entirely work exactly as we wanted. It does work a lot better, I'm going to add that. But the feet are going just a little bit too up. So what I'm actually going to do here is lower the angle on these to about, let's go 40. Yeah, so now it's walking in a neat and configured fashion. So that's actually walking pretty decently, and as you can see, it's kind of lifting up the foot there. Like, if I take a step to the left, like a step on the A, it is going to lift up the foot a little bit. So it's not dragging on the ground, pushing us backwards. So now we can kind of get into the rhythm of it and walk. Now, for the logic. Just like in my last video, in the ornathopter video, I'm going to have 2 XOR gates, configure both of those, and then I'm going to have it be about 0.8 seconds per step. That feels about right. If you're making something faster, you might want to go for less time on that. And then the important bit is to only configure one of them the second time. I configured both of them the first time, but just by hitting Control-click. But now we're only configuring the bottom one, adding a 0.8 second delay there, and setting the output to -1. This is what will bring the leg back when we're walking. So now, then if I spawn this in, it's not hooked up to anything, but I'm going to bind these both to W. So when I press W, you can see that it alternates between the two. Now, I'm going to hook those up into both of these. So it should be like that. But as you can see, none of the other joints are working. So what we're going to do here is, I believe this is connected to this joint, and this is connected to this joint. So we can, yes, have the knee bend. And then just like that, I'm going to connect this to the bottom joint here. So the top logic gate will be connected to all 3 joints here, and the bottom one will be connected to all 3 joints here. As you walk, that should be good for that. It might end up being swapped around. That'll look like this. It'll almost look like it's moonwalking. If it starts doing that, you can just rotate these each 90 degrees, and it'll start walking as you do it. So I'm actually going to take this, unbind all of those, just click the X's right there, and then as you can see, I hit W. Bottom leg is right step, top, well, bottom logic gate is right step, top is left. So now we have a decently easy walker. Now, there are many different types of walker, but one of the main components is that it lifts up the foot on the forward step so that it doesn't push itself backward, like it does in a build, well, not like it does, but here's a different method of doing that. Here we see in this build it's a little bit faster, but I'm actually using pistons to extend the legs. Kicked that one right there, but the gyros are going to correct it. But by using pistons to extend the legs out, we can make sure that it retracts them when it's going forward. So as you can see, down step, it extends it out, and then when it retracts it when we're going back forwards. That's decently simple. And there are other methods to do this, but if you're trying to make a walker, this isn't particularly good at running, but, well, this specific build, but it is good at walking. The reason we have the foot like that is so that we can just get that little bit extra height out of the back step so we don't have to lift the legs as much. So, like, when this is rotated a little bit, this will be touching the ground more than this, as you can see. So we just get that little bit of extra height there. And then it can do that. I'm gonna, just for the sake of it, add some arms onto this strange creature that I've made here. Gonna get that, add that to this side. We'll get some slabs there and there. I'm gonna take this, duplicate it, add it to this side, make sure that all of the programming is linked up. Oh, we need that on both of them. Moved that. Like I said, just to select more than one logic block and configure it, you just need to control-click. Click to configure, and click that. So now, if I add arms to that, little arms, we can make it so that happens. And then I'm going to actually add a knee here, and the joint from the knee here. Are those configured? Not entirely. So this is... neither of those are configured. This is on this knee, so I'm going to attach this to that. This is on this knee, so I'm going to attach that to this. I'm actually going to swap these, rotate them around, add some extra tubes there. Now we have that. It's kind of walking along, kind of balancing itself as it goes. We could take this to the logical extreme and move this down more. That will get disconnected, but we can move this down as well. Add some of these right here and here. That'll connect everything up. I'm actually going to move those down one. So now we have a little mech suit that we've programmed to walk. Okay. Now, you can get it to rotate. For this, though, you can get it to rotate while walking by having it take a step, and then rotate that foot, and then rotate the other foot. But it's oddly configured, and I didn't fully prepare for that. So for this, I'm just going to add back the A and D controls into this. That might be a little bit fast. So we're going to go into this, and just reset that back down to, say, 2. And I also noticed that these arms still have controls, and I want to delete the controls from them. What we can do, though, is add specific controls. So, like, if I want this to be the right arm, I could add E on that control. And I could make this control Q. Make sure... I'm not going to flip it around, so I'm just going to put Q on this one, because of the controlling is already doing that. But now we have that, and if I press Q, it raises that arm. If I press E, it raises that arm. Let's also do that for these. This is going to be on E because it's the right arm. This is going to be on Q because it is the left arm. It's going to be right there. I accidentally put that in there. Okay, I also just realized that these are still on the delay, so I'm going to just remove that, see how it walks. Raise my left arm, raise the right arm, and that looks pretty good. Walking around, and then you can add all sorts of things, and you can even have the default position for the arms being up. You can do that with a NOR gate running into all of them. That way when you walk, it'll only send the negative signals. I am, however, going to flip these around. Yeah, so that does that. You can have it hold stuff like that. Just because I can, I'm probably going to make this pick up boxes, or, you know what? Undo that. I'm going to make this pick up barrels. So I'm going to go into the controls for this. unhook all of those from all of those, like so. Go into my own controls, and we're going to make shift the barrel pickup button. So this is going to be on shift. This is going to be on shift. Just this arrow here is going to be the green direction, so it's going to rotate this whole limb this way when we press shift, as you can see there. So now we're going to take this, bind that to shift. So now I can walk along, but if I spot a barrel, I can reach out my arms to pick it up. And then, I wonder if it's better to just add a magnet to the body, or to try and make, like, anchor pins. How do anchor pins look on this? Because they can be decently glitchy. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do a magnet. But you might be thinking, where do I fit a magnet into this? Which, slight little tutorial there. I'm going to take a piston, put it like this, configure both of them. Negative speed, 100 is just the fastest it can go, and then I'm going to put start position to 0, so that means that they'll instantly lock in like that. And then we can take a gadget, put the tractor beam, I call it a magnet because that's what it used to be called, into there. Do it like so. Then we have a magnet at the head. We can then make this magnet only work when we're pressing shift. Do we have the other things? I'm going to set the arms as a toggle, so we don't have to hold it. So that way, when we do this, it'll pick up a barrel, and then we can set it down. Let's load into a map. Job. And I've given this a paint job, and I'm adding some pipes here, just to make it a bit more power loader-esque, because it's going to be carrying the barrels. This is just a little bit of decoration that you don't have to do, but I'm going to do it because it's fun. Okay, onto the map. Actually, one more thing. I'm gonna flip these around, and then add a connector right there, paint it black, so you can see that it looks a lot like a power loader. And then you can press shift and grab stuff. You know what? I'm gonna keep detailing this a little bit. I kind of want to add a headlight or something in. So I wonder if I can. Where are lights? Right here. Would that fit? So, dealing with clipping things into parts like this is always really finicky. I think we get away with this, but only just, and not while turning it. Because as you can see there, that piston, not the piston, the head of the thing is just popping completely off of it. So I'm actually going to move this, if I can, forward by one. And then we can kind of figure out a way to connect it. Maybe this also comes forward by one. Delete that, add this back in. Oh, that is part of the finicky that I mentioned before. Yep. It's gonna be really weird about that. What happens if I just add one to the top? Yeah, now we have just like a little bot. I wonder if I can fit the light right here and then use an armor plate. Make both of these gray. Yeah, and then that looks sick. And it kind of hides the player as well. But it still shows that you can, like, see the player's feet in there, so it's still, like, a mech. Okay. And then I kind of want to add just something as hands. Maybe we can go like this. I wonder if that'll work. Yeah, that works great. Okay, time to test it. Loading that up here. We can definitely walk over to a barrel real quick. It's not the fastest, it's kind of meant to be slow. You can make it faster. These hinges also get a lot faster if you configure them to hold position. But we're up to a barrel. Let's pick it up. Oh, this is probably going to screw with our walking. Oh, that did. Oh, let's drop this. Pick it up again. Yeah, that's going to be much better. And then off we go. Alright. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I upload at least once a week. I will be uploading Sunday again. Thank you for watching. If you want to, you can subscribe. I don't have too many of those. And see ya. Have a good day.